Sharp, who's it? Who's it? Fede? Otherwise, how are you doing? Problem not about it. Problem not. I'm doing good. Le re dintshang, guys. So today I was it Buffett? I hope you're doing good. So you know, I was just thinking this other time, and I was thinking about how it is easy to be depressed, how it becomes so easy for one to be depressed. Remember that we are people, right? And as being people, we we face different things at different times. Now, why do I say depression is not far from struggle? It is in two ways. So which means depression and struggle is the same thing, because of when you're depressed, you're struggling. And also, when you are struggling, busy, remember that I want to put it as struggle, as being that time when you're just finding yourself, finding what to do, or just maybe working on something because of its struggle. That's why okay, the politicians, Barry, during the struggle we fought for freedom. Okay, the politicians, during the struggle we did this and that. So each and everything that we're doing, we may say, the way I put it as struggle, maybe I know it's a horror. No, struggle is a time where one is just pushing, working hard, finding what is right, just working hard, because if you are busy with the struggle, you wanna conquer the struggle, right? That's the aim. So now, during that time, it is a time where you get to realize how strong you are emotionally, mentally, psychologically, because of the challenges that you are faced with as a person, right? Because let's not forget that let's not forget to subscribe, guys. Let's please subscribe. Let's like, and let's have a conversation, because of part of the purpose is for us to have a conversation, is for us to kind of engage, because of, I believe that a lot of problems nowadays, we shouldn't wait. They're not waiting for maybe a politician or a president or a leader of some sort to come and take us from where we are to where we should be going. But it's about us engaging. The platforms that we have, like what I'm doing, it's a platform that we can use to engage, to conversate, to have conversations, important conversations, because of, as people, we are being oppressed by our leaders. For instance, South Africa, where they fought for freedom. Where's the freedom? Okay, yes, maybe because of we've got, we're just gonna give them credit because they fought so that we can have access to certain things. That let's not take away from them. But now they gave them the position for them to lead us. They were like, black people be in charge, right? There was the first black president, President Nelson Mandela, and it kept on going, black president. But yes, we've got the freedom, but now are we growing as a country? Are we are we moving from one point to another? Now, the reason why we could say that yes, we've grown because of there are certain things that were not there before, and now they're there. Yes, sharp, but at the expense of what is given to the leader to to be the leader of a country, to say have this, you'll make the country grow. You are the one responsible of the growth. You are the one responsible of how the country operates, right? So now, which means you're given the money, giving the resources. Why should it be that now a certain group of people is eating, but a certain group of people remains oppressed? Now, I don't wanna dive deep into politics. Hello, Sponge. How's it? How's it? Richard Mkiswa. How's it, guys? I hope I hope you're doing good. I'm also good. I'm also nice. It's another day, another crash out. I want to crash out today. So depression is it's it's something that you get to deal with when you are at your lowest, because of maybe there's something that you're not getting, something that it's so heavy for you to handle mentally. That things were being told by people, and you're like, yo, angeke, I would be depressed if you angeke, I would be depressed if it was me. You get to understand that people are dealing with a lot, and mainly it may be because of, sometimes, like I always say, that guys, the smallest issue that you get challenged by, face it. The smallest issue, face it. Never leave any stone unturned, my brother, my sister. Because of what happens, the problems keep on growing, and then when they grow now, they become a bomb. And when it bombs now, it's a lot to handle, because of now you just feel like you are worthless, or because of now those problems, pella. Hence, a lot of people, they don't find peace when they're alone. A person always has to go out and kind of like look for closure, kind of like look for entertainment, to push time. But that time before you sleep, my brother, my sister, everything is coming back. You'll find yourself just sleeping, looking up to the ceiling. Because of we think that problems will solve themselves. Now, part of the topic is because of maybe some things that I'm also going through. For me, depression is my capability fighting my pace towards my goal. It's not just dealing with a lot, it's realizing that in the end, when everyone dies, who'll be left to remember you, who'll be there to love you? In the end, there is nothing. But also with that one, Alex, you can't be focused. Hore. All of us will die, my brother. We will die eventually. But now it's what can I do in the meantime? What can I kind of like work on? As Spawn says, that it's fighting, it's depression is the capability of him fighting towards his goal. So you probably have a goal that you want to achieve, right? Despite the fact that we'll die. That's true, my brother. So by the end of the day, we'll die, all of us. But now, what in the meantime, when you still have time, when you still have life, what is it that you can work on to actually achieve a certain goal? Lo not over sharp. Because of it's evident that we've seen with our own eyes. There are a lot of people who have worked towards a certain goal, and they achieved. So why do you have to put yourself in jail because of we're gonna die? Yes, we're gonna die. That's why it's important to also, when we're still alive, let's take care of our souls. So the point in life is just to buy time till death. Now, Alex, that is my brother. That is, I think it's when you've realized that actually, you know what? Because now when you reach that point of thinking that I'm just pushing time till death, then you it become worthless for you to do anything. The more you think, the safer you get. Yeah, true, 100%. But with that point of, it's yes, it's really to just buying time, but it's not really buying time because of, let's remember that this life that we're living, we were given by God with the third world. I disagree. Actually, let's just put it like this. That is why get it, Alex. That's just honest. That's just the reality. If we just open our minds so hard, we'll end up thinking like that. We're buying time. That's why get it, I don't disagree. I agree. But now it's you thinking about it so hard that now you just want to look for something that might not even work for you because of with everything that we can do. There's certain things we can think about, but you just want to go there because of, I mean, like, it won't help you because of with that mindset you end up discouraging yourself. You end up saying that, you know what, just let me just be me, let me just do what I want to do, let me just, let me just be me. You it's you hardly work on something, you hardly put yourself into something and just get busy and just, kind of like, think about something that is not within when you're not doing anything. So Alex, with my brother, it's just it's one point that not even not even a motivational speaker can answer because of, you kind of look at it, you kind of think about it, kind of like, but actually that's true, but at the same time you're like, yeah, that's so wild, bro. You probably thought hard to even get there, which is also, which brings me to the point of saying, Jorge, that's why sometimes for us not to be depressed, you know that I can do this, I can go there, but let me not go there because of now I'm actually I'm actually harming myself. If someone can build the pyramid so high, but we were not there, still we can live with them. It means we own time and future. Big time. Big facts, bro. Actually big facts. We own time. You own your own time. You own your own future. When it's all said and done, that's where we'll be able to see, oh, okay, yo, bro, this is your shit. This is you. Big fact. Because of everything that is put for you to achieve, you own it. So which means even if before you even get there, you own the time. You own your own destination. Now, what do we mean when we say you own? We mean that you are responsible of what you do during that time. Right now, I could be doing something else. I'm like, I don't want to go live, but because of I understand the goal, I own the time that I owe. I took responsibility. I'm the one responsible. Hence, I took the responsibility to just, what, let me just go live and talk with my friends, crash out even if it's possible. You understand? Let's address. Let's have a conversation. I own my time. I own my own future. That's why I gotta sponge said, hey, big facts, brother. Big facts. So depression is something that it's an energy that when you are within it, nothing is valuable. Like, nothing makes sense, bro. Like, nothing makes sense. I've got, I've seen some, I've been there a little bit. Like, it's in Galoto, and then Kawela Mara. I've seen it, because I was, maybe, let me just say, delusional to a point whereby it, like, Alex, my brother, that's you actually, you you become so delusional whereby you start thinking about things, you just consume a lot of energy, just consume a lot of thoughts. You just infringe yourself with a lot of things, bro, and they become so heavy to manage to a point whereby nothing that you see, nothing that you think about makes sense. That is why when you end up thinking like Alex, it's so easy. You are so vulnerable to depression. You're so vulnerable to suicide. It's so easy for you to take yourself because of to you. It's like actually I'm doing a favor for someone. Actually, like yes, reality, but live within the reality. At the end of the day, just live. Just pay that you just do something. Do something. Right. So depression is a real life thing, guys. And when you're working out, when you're pushing, when you're trying to find something, when you're working on a certain goal, it you become more vulnerable. But also, how do you become more vulnerable is when you also don't work on your mindset, when you also don't work on your emotional intelligence, because of you become so sensitive to situations. You know, you become so attached to a lot of things. You become so attached to certain energy that it doesn't, you shouldn't be there. Hence now when you go back, you're so empty. Like there's nothing within you, because of you became so attracted, you became so attached to a lot of things, a lot of energy, that now that's why they say as a person, um consume. It's like when you eat, you digest, you eat, you digest. Once you eat, you digest. That's how it should be. you know I read, I have conversations, we discuss, I consume, I think about it, and then I digest. How do you digest? Speak, you know just do something, bro. Just do something, because of having to put a lot of things in your mind, having to kind of like attract and just not give out. It becomes so heavy to a point that when you now become so vulnerable, it's easy for you to be depressed. I believe most of us are too curious about the right path till we see nothing makes sense. Yeah, bro. Unfortunately, I think we have to go to that point. We have to go to that point. But that's why I also say that now we have to just sometime be at our lowest, to kind of like realize. But that's why they say that sometimes you don't have to learn from what you do, from your experiences, but sometimes learn from other people's experiences, because of the life we're living. It's Yes, we are different, but the common traits, the common situations that I can read from, and I'm like, oh, okay, you did that wrong, so okay, sharp, I should have done this. Let me. That's why about more pillow. Put your pride aside, brother. Put your pride aside. I only get depressed when I see people vote for the wrong leader, but I know I can help. So I'm capable of being part of the right decision, but I choose to not. With that one, they always say that when you believe that you can be someone, you can do something. Start. How do you start? Sometimes that's the difficult part, because of now. How do you start? Just like President Cyril Ramaphosa, it has taken almost like 30 to 20, or more than 30 years for him to become the leader. For him to be part of the options that we can choose as people. So it's not unfortunately we just don't wake up and be like, I want to be that, let me go be vote for me. Because of a sponge, there are a lot of people that think similar to what actually having the same thoughts. There are a lot of people also thinking the same thing you're thinking. But now it's about starting, it's about doing. We think we have ideas, but now do we start? Are we actions, bro? Like actions. Actually, there's no topic, because of we moved from it's It's the point of having a conversation. Line, I believe it's a thing of having conversations, that a conversation that you're not focused. You talk about something, but also whatever that you're talking about will also develop to other conversations. Because of that's, I can't explain it, but that's our conversation. It's an endless conversation. It's an endless voice exchange between two people just talking. I understand. So it's not like will be based on depression. It's not far from struggle. Yes, we talked about it, and what we're talking about is also related to that. It needs one to kind of like put it into a bracket, and plug the points, like, oh, this one here, this one there. Was Mandela told what to do? If he knew, he would have not sacrificed himself. Sponge, staqosha, staqosha, stuck. Okay, aligned. We're just talking about how the situations, how sometimes people get depressed. So we just talking about sometimes you get to look into situations and be like, I can do that. I can be whatever that people are looking for. But now people are not seeing you. People are not choosing you. So sometimes it's knowing yourself and challenging yourself internally that you can be that now, failing to be that because of maybe people didn't see your capability. But now what's also depressing is the fact that you don't look into what you didn't do. Yes, we are whatever that we are. We can do things, but do we also judge ourselves to be like, no, dog, actually kind of like look at it. Did I even start? Did I even try to campaign? So why didn't they actually, not even one person, not even one chose me? So it's about starting, it's about just getting up and doing something. That's when people will be like, oh, okay, come on, man. So even if I vote like South Africa kaofela, but just one person will be like, actually, Doug, you've got my vote. Trust, you've got my vote. Yabo? So just generally in life, we think we are people, we've got ideas, we've got thoughts, we discuss as people, but now are we doing? So what I mean is that we should how it's done, because your way might work. Just jump in while see in front while it's moving. Yeah, but also having to think about it, it also helps with you avoiding a lot of disadvantages to the goal. It's like um just freelancing, no expectations, no, like there's no strategy gore. Because of with everything you need to have your threats and your what did we say, there's your threats and your opportunities, right? So you just need to kind of like, okay, speculate, what if this happens, I'm doing this, if this happens, I'm doing this. So yes, I do agree, just jump, but also sometimes think about it, just kind of like analyze. You don't want to be that person who hustles for more than 50 years without even having to get there because of you just moving. When it's like, oh, I don't know how to put, just there, no expectations, just bro, that's how we win. Yeah, yeah, but honestly, Sponge, Raba to talk. We are people. When you're alone, you're kind of like, okay. If I do this, I do this, I do this. Oh, I'll get this. That's how you expect. Sometimes not saying, but now when you know what you're doing, you kind of like be like, that's mine. I expect to get that. We are people. We're not perfect. Do you think finding your purpose is important? Because not many people know the purpose. Very, 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 very important. Yo, very important. There are five questions that maybe we've heard or been told about that we should answer as people. Who are you? Where are you from? Where are you going? Where are you? And the last one is it how? It's also why are you here? Right? Who am I? Where am I going? Where am I from? Where am I? I was hampergirly where I am, where am I, and why am I here actually? Yes, I do. And yours is it's very unique, bro. Like it's very important because you kind of like understand your life. You kind of like understand what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do, because of we end up doing what we're not supposed to do because of not knowing ourselves. You know, you kind of like hear people say, "Gore, I'm actually I'm a loner. I'm so introverted." They've kind of like identified themselves, even though you haven't answered all the questions or understood your papers, but you are just working into because of you understand yourself, but also put yourself in a situation where you have no chance of being what you think you are. It's kind of like how we expose ourselves, how we are when we are with people, right? So knowing your purpose, it's yo dog, like rana out there because of how important it is. um there are things as people we spend time on and we end up regretting. When you have a goal, you've outlooked a certain vision and be like, you know what, here's my vision, here's my goal, here's where I want to be. It comes with also understanding your purpose. It comes with also understanding yourself as a person. Because of the topic, yeah, purpose, it's so deep that it's like, why am I living? Because it gets to that question, or why am I living? What is it that I came here to do actually? Because of some people are prophets. Exactly. I feel like people are stuck in the wrong environments and situations. Like people are stuck up with lifestyles that won't benefit them long term. That's why I have very little friends. Big one, my brother. Because I only surround myself. Nowadays they say, but I can clock it. But clock it. Very, very important. I wish, like, I just wish a lot of people understood that. I just wish a lot of people understood that lifestyle is a lifestyle. Like lifestyle is a lifestyle. 10 years from now, lifestyle will also like it'll always be lifestyle. It gets changed. So the important thing is to first work on something. First work on achieving something. I usually say that when you've worked hard, when you've earned what you worked for, bro, you're happy forever, bro. It's not like right now whereby you're working, you're getting you're earning maybe 6,000 or maybe 10,000 every month. There is tax, there are costs, you know, just a lot of things you gotta do, and you end up having like 2.5 for yourself, but you're earning 10,000, bro. So it's like it's like the billionaire life. Those people spend a lot of time working on something, knowing that that particular goal or that particular something will make them, they'll become financially sustainable forever. That's the 1%. So people, the disease with us people, or the problem, you meant cause the word rabatu, but also humanly cause the word rabatu feels like a channel we created to limit new paths. Yeah, yeah, but I usually say that le taba gore batho, but you also gotta look for yourself, bro. You are a priority. Yes, yes, re batho bo botlhe re phedisana, ne? But you are a priority, bro, to your own life. You know, wabana, it becomes a problem when we put other people as priorities because of we end up not getting to where we always want to be. And which is not a problem by putting yourself as a priority, because of you understand that for me to take care of that situation, I gotta be somewhere, I gotta grow, I gotta, so that even if because of each and every challenge or difficulty, let me just put it like, even each and every challenge that we break, there's another challenge that is more difficult than that one. So we also have to move with the time. So a lot of people, we spend a lot of time, we spend a lot of money on things that are liabilities. I want to give an example with banyana. A lot of ladies bayaka girlfriend allowance, maintenance, for what? Sharp, they want to maintain themselves, they want to plait their hair, ba batla ho dira manala. But 10 years from now, that person is still poor. Actually, ladies are getting a lot of money, bro. Ladies are getting a lot of money from just, okay, someone will say because of there is an exchange of something. Yes, but it's not a job. It's when people get together. It's like when people agree to be in a relationship, there will be that sexual, intercourse, participation. Rabatu. So you can't fly, they're going to kill you, but you can, it's unique. Rabatu. So you can't fly, they're going to kill you. Now dog, I wanna sponge. I usually say that when you believe in yourself and when you believe that you are protected, and it gets to a point whereby you don't believe gore batho ba tlo bolaya. Batho ba tlo bolaya, it's only you. You will kill yourself. But most of the situations, we're not. I don't like about bangwe. It's not. I was involved in an accident and then I died. We are killing ourselves because of we fail to listen. We would become so much of, like, we become so free to do anything. We become so free to do anything at any time, and then we end up in wrong places, wrong environments. Like line says, I feel like people are after the growing lifestyle, especially people my age. It makes me feel so disconnected because I'm after a different lifestyle that can create a generational wealth. You know what, line? Brother, just, I'm not sure if you're a gentleman or lady, but continue ka dating. Ajo, continue ka yona, Joe. That's why, but it's only 1% out of 100% who'll get there. How many billionaires do we have? How many successful people do we have? I'm talking about successful, whereby you don't even worry about le he ke sa dire, if even if I don't wake up for like 10 days, I'm still good. How many people are successful? How many people, bro? How many people? Very, very little. Very, very small number of people. Because of what we are so comfortable within our own spaces. So hey, I'm earning that 3.5 and I'm good. I'm good. But there's more to life, bro. There is more, and we end up seeing these people on social media. We end up seeing these people on Modi YouTube. We're like, oh shit, I also want that. I also want a BM. I also want a mansion. And then we look for what? We look for easy things to bring in cash. I can patula bomanyana the phone. I can shy bomadi heist. I can, I can candle, betray. Now you start becoming this other person. There's no human in you because of you thought what we have, it's it, like you're okay, until you realize the right man, there's more to life. I've spent so much time, so much money thinking that time and I'm good. But there is more. Okay, how can I grow? How can I grow from it? Now thoma ya wodi gogo bu gogo smang mama it's goga yazi ang tsinyana kancane nami. Huh? For what? For what? Because of I delayed myself. I delayed myself. So why should I now, start to be doing things that, I'm even like I'm just getting closer to my death. Bro, there is time for everything. There is time for everything. And with whatever that we have, if you think you're earning 250,000, you are now comfortable. Bro, there is more to that. You can grow. That's why a lot of people start living fake lives. Motho first of all, I like if you understand business takes advantage of what you're looking for. A lot of people saw that, oh, okay, um Joe, like God can take it. Just, fun. Imagine losing 250 like just like that. No, that's enough. Nah, Joe, minus 250,000. And more, maybe get the savings. You spent 2 to 3 years saving 250,000, or maybe the amount of money that you earn within 3 years. Ke mo e fitlhang mo 250 o e bone re minus wa fainta son wa fainta ha wa ka. So why are we limiting ourselves? Because of the mind. Or another mind. Oh, the mind is so, which was never here, even more wealth. In my opinion, millions and billions has nothing to do with wealth, but creating what it's never here is more wealth. Creating what was never. Yeah, that's why I'm so against why a lot of black people like just they becomes wala in the bargain monopolistic competition. Kore mo strateng ho na le business tse 10 tse di tshwanang re rekisa ditamati kaofela. Oh, mo strateng ke dijo ba isiwa di-chips le dikota. Like we're so lazy to think, dog. Like, oh, we look okay. My neighbor is selling chips and rations and quota. Okay, let me also do that. Or maybe you saw him. Maybe you saw that your neighbor bought like a new whip, and you're like, oh, okay, what are they doing? Oh, they're selling chickens. Okay, I can also start selling that. But sure, Andrew, there is the more. That's why I get. As people, we are lazy to think. Yo, dog, get the kawash everywhere. Get the kawash. Everywhere, get the corner to corner, get the kawash. Only one structures are kawash, marawasa span. To get the kawash everywhere. Kawash all over. Because of we are so lazy to think. We are so lazy to think. Bro, like, here's an idea, ne? Where I live, so a lot of people like Barata, they like collecting, empty cans, empty cold drink cans, these are the long term. And then buy ukadisa, buy the katla buy, and then they go and sell them, and they give them a certain amount based on the what again get a kilogram. Yeah, I gotta get a kilogram based on the amount of kilograms they weigh. About 5, maybe you've got 2 refusal or 3 refusal bags, crashed cans. Maybe you get mumanyana 6 nyana something. So what I saw is there is no. So sometimes a lot of people ba struggle like how got the transport to go and sell their cans. So now the idea I came was I could be the middleman. How do I do this? Create the post, market that business, get customers whereby people collect, based on the size they have. I can give them this amount of money. So now I become the middleman between them and who and the guy who's buying the cans, right? Because of where I live, it's kind of like a distance to where the company's at. So a lot of people sometimes will struggle like the transport, and or maybe you've got maybe like a lot of plastic bags that he can, but so now I become them, and that's why I come in. I'm like, yo, how many plastic bags do you have? Maybe you tell me if you've got five. Like, okay, sharp. I calculate to like five feel like hey crash. Qua they're going to give me this much. Okay, I'm like, I sharp ne. Let me give you maybe let's say 25% of that money. Or maybe yeah 25 to 40%. Let's just 40% of the money. And I get it now, I'm just starting. You can honestly you can honestly do anything if you know how to market one shot. My point. Thank you. Yeah, it's a good idea. So what I was saying, I'm not trying to give out my idea, but I was just thinking about how you look at the businesses and you look at what people usually consume and you look at like you level at this problem stuff out and you're like, okay, what can I sell to that person that will make him want to come and buy it? Because of you're helping that person to solve a particular problem. So what can you sell? Like you see a lot of ladies see nobody this business is there. It's a blind. A lot of ladies warata, mavuso. Did a business guy and you're like, okay guys, I've got my friends who are making money, my friends who are begging. Every Friday, Saturday, you get a small, at this club. So I can plug you, Maralampa 25%. It's a business. Yeah, the business is there. The other people are doing it. O level, you look at what people are looking for to solve a particular problem. That's why about a lot of big businesses they first do maybe not big businesses, but before you solve a particular problem, you start by analyzing it, breaking it down. Okay, I see a lot of people like um wearing caps. So why can't I maybe um do how can I procure cap? It's the wrong one. It's the wrong one. Sometimes you think you can think, but until you realize, oh shit, no, wrong idea. But maybe a bicycle. Okay, you are one or now a lot of bicycles maybe they hula 1 or 2 about. So why don't I maybe like add extra seats, extra wheels, like just think about the particular problem. Not right now my mind is tight. So that's why my ideas are whack right now. But it's thinking about the problem that people are having and having to help them solve the problem. That's business. Logistics and delivery business are also good businesses to start. Yeah, very very good actually. And it's like it's very simple actually, very very simple because they are a lot of people have moved um to digital but again digital retail companies like your take a lot like your a lot of people buy online nowadays. Online shopping actually. Hey, and why did I have to go there? Yo, online shopping, simple. Align, thank you so much, bro. So the online shopping space, it's actually growing, and Like a person doesn't mind paying Buma $500 for something. This is one Cape Town, and I'm just saying. But a lot of people like Joe, they've moved to online shopping nowadays. Like we spend a lot of money online, and which is a good thing, but which is also a bad thing because of now it limits us from working, and then we start becoming lazy. So you see guys, the whole point when we have a conversation, like the main topic was depression. Depression is not far from struggle, and as we were talking, we're able to come up with solutions, situations, and now ended up breaking up the situation, and now we're like, how Pella, right now with this live stream that we had, we managed to break a problem and come up with a solution, because of now whoever was listening and attending, they could see okay sharp. Now the problem why a lot of people are depressed is this, and the problem why the it adds to the problem of why people get depressed is this. Oh, so Kurare, I should. So you see the importance of us having a conversation, because of we get to help each other, we get to see through a particular problem, and kind of like come up with situations where we can relate. And after that, now okay, oh, actually, for me not to get to that part or that point of being depressed, I can do this, because of being part of a conversation, being part of a discussion, because of a lot of people have got, hey, because of so a lot of people have got opinions. A lot of people, have information. Hey, information. Hey, oh, woman. So a lot of people know a lot, right? And and as we are people, we know different things. So coming together, it helps. It helps. It helps by I get to learn something, not something. I get to learn something and also learn something, and help each other. That's how life is. That's how we can fix a lot of problems. The only part that will be left is it's acting. Weird question, but do you think you are the same person you are 3 years ago? Mm, I don't think so. Actually, I'm not. I don't want to lie, bro. I don't want to lie. Hence, I believe this thing out. People change. People do change. I do believe that people do change. Actually, not people, but character changes. Yeah. Our characters as people changes, but the personality more often remains the same. But the character, like, it changes, bro. That's why I gotta learn now. I know what. I'm not the same person from 3 years ago. No, I'm not. Because of as that's life actually. That's how life is. We are growing, and as you're growing, you're learning, and as you're learning, there's a change of character. There's a change of how you do things, which influences your character. So it's you've been the same person 10 years ago. I've got a problem. I've got a very very big problem, because which means that's about learning changes a character of something. When you learn, you start being like, oh, actually, I no, I can't do that, I can do this. But before you used to just be like, what, everything. So it's a problem when we get, or when you as a person are not growing. You have the same character from 10 years ago. How, my brother? Hi, the A07 girl, what's up? There's a problem when, as a person, when you're not growing. You are the same from 10 years. My brother, my sister, you have a problem. You have a problem. Yeah, they have a problem. I was just, it's barking. It's barking. First person, second, somewhere. It's the person narration. So I'm just generally saying that, you know, as a person, when you're so resistant to change, bro, you've got a problem, and there's no space of growth. You're not growing. Hence sometimes they say it's a problem when you find that you're still the same person as you were back then when you didn't have anything to now when you have if maybe most of what you want. It becomes because you gotta protect what you have at that time. You know, back then you didn't have a problem because there's nothing you were protecting. Do you think people come into your life for a reason or by chance? Yeah, it's by a reason, but there's something that I know that some people are not meant to be with us forever. So some people just come here to be part of a certain chapter in our lives, and then they just like when stories are being narrated, you know, a certain chapter has got a certain characters, you know, but there is the main character. So you are the main character, but there will be characters who will be part of your life, and then they'll leave. It's it happens for a reason. I wouldn't say it's a coincidence or it's by chance. You know, God knows what He's doing, bro. I believe that, and I also believe in God. I believe that with God, everything has a reason, and because we are His children, you know, everything happens for a reason. The people that you've been around, even if there's nothing that you extracted positively, but there's something that you kind of like understood. There's something that you've extracted. It's either maybe that person is not worth it or that person is worth it, you know, and kind of like teaches you about the character of the people who come to you not because of they love you, but because of maybe they were there to kind of like like take you um to another chapter or to the next step because of now you are training the person is training you mentally, emotionally, even if they betrayed you. That's why I usually say that when someone betrays you, you shouldn't be mad at that person, but thank the person for he or she taught you or he or she challenged your mind and you were able to take on the challenge and win, and which is also expected with other challenges similar to that one that the person came with you uh, uh, um, but again, so you now have experience and no one will ever betray you and then now they think they broke your heart. Through everything does happen for a reason, big time, bro. Everything happens for a reason. You know, this life is a reason on its own. This life on its own is a reason, you know, for it to be life, because it's life in our life. So um thank you guys for participating. I really appreciate there is growth because of when I compare from before, you know, you just talk alone up until you end the live stream with no one participating, with no views, you know, to see that we're growing. I saw when one day, you know, started having, couple of views and people were liking, you know, even though they were not commenting. But now, from then up until now, people are liking, people are viewing, people are commenting. It shows that there is growth, you know, within the community because this is a community. You know, I believe so much in community growth. So the conversations that we're having is the conversations that we should be having in our communities, you know, in the community centers, you know. But unfortunately, those kind of things are not implemented. So which gives us a chance as young people, you know, to participate in those things. You know, have Woma Friday sessions whereby we meet, you know, at a certain location, you know, have conversations, discuss, you know, because of no one is going to work tomorrow, you know. So bring the community problems, kind of like, you know, so that's why I call this a community, because of the conversations we're having is the conversations we should be having within our communities. So I have a class soon, but I dropped sub though. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. I really appreciate. May God bless you, bro. Like, may God bless you. Please keep doing what you're doing. This has actually helped me a lot. You know what? Thank you so much, bro. Like, thank you. May God bless you, and I pray that whatever that you want, you achieve. And let's come back tomorrow or later on today. Let's have more conversations. Share this to your friends. Call your friends. Let's even go live together. I can add you next time, so that we have a verbal conversation. So thank you so much, Light. It's been a great time having this conversation with you. Have a good day. So from me to you guys, like I always say, please take care of yourselves. Don't forget to pray and love yourself before you love other people. Like I always say, salute us. I'm out.